Forensic Faith, pages 15 to 16. Foreword. To loosely paraphrase the late Mark Twain, the news of the demise of apologetics has been greatly exaggerated. For decades now, skeptics who prematurely proclaim their beliefs as science have been assisted by Christians who prematurely proclaim apologetics, the practice of presenting arguments for the Christian worldview and against non-Christian worldviews, no longer help, if it ever was in the first place. They couldn't be more wrong. It certainly sounds spiritual to say things like, arguments never save anyone, or no one has ever argued into the kingdom. Such cliches are, however, silly strawmen. I don't know a single apologist who thinks of their argument as salvific. Perhaps they are one or two who do, but I've never met them. More importantly, however, such statements display a misunderstanding of who we are as people. Certainly, faith involves more than our brains, but it does not involve less. Humans are not necessarily rational, but they are curious. Humans who may not be able to shake off some level of subjectivity in their personal perspectives and experiences, but they consistently share those experiences with others, argue for their legitimacy, and attempt to make sense of them. To be human is to do more than just think like animals do. To be human is to reason, to reflect, and to ask questions about life and its meaning. Because everyone we meet is one of those question-asking, meaning-seeking creatures, apologetics will always be helpful to those who fulfill Christ's commands to make disciples. Unfortunately, too many Christians have bought into the secular myth that religious truth is in the realm of belief, a realm separate of and incompatible with evidence and reason, therefore unknowable in any true sense. This assumes that we, while Christians deal with myth, secularists deal with facts, while our deeply held commitments are mere beliefs. Their deeply held commitments are based on reality. That sort of thinking has already given up the thing Christianity has going for it, and that it's true, actually true. Not true for those who believe it. Not true for you, but not for me. Christianity is really true, with a capital T. True for everyone, whether they believe it or not. Christianity describes reality as it is. A few years ago, several ministry friends and colleagues asked if I knew of Jim Wallace. Of course I would reply, though I had in mind Jim Wallace, the theologically liberal social activist who founded the Sovereigners Organization. Not that one of them told me while handing me the book of Cold Case Christianity. This one. I must admit, when I learned that this Jim Wallace was a L.A. homicide detective now applying the tools of his trade to the field of apologetics, I was concerned. An approach like this, I feared, could easily be an unfortunate turn to the hockey, heavy on cliché and light on depth. Within just a few chapters, however, it was clear to me that my concern was unfounded. Jim knows his stuff. He works hard to become one of the most well-respected, studied, and articulate defenders of Christian truth. That's why so many people, Christian and skeptic alike, follow him on social media, read his books and blogs, and flock to him and speak. In his first two books, Jim applied his considerable skill in relentlessly pursuing the truth behind horrific crimes to relentlessly pursuing the truth about the Gospels of the existence of God. In Forensic Faith, he opens up his toolkit and shares those skills with us. Like all the best teachers, Jim wants you to join him in his work. Along with Paul, Jim challenges us to examine everything carefully, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, and to be fully convinced in our own minds, Romans chapter 14 verse 5, about the truth we say we embrace, and then share the conviction with others. So jump in. Along the way, you will find yourself better at evaluating evidence, thinking through arguments, and making the case for Christian truth. I am willing to bet you may also find yourself being better at being you. After all, it was God who gave us these brains in the first place. we should use them. John Stone Street, president of the Colson Center of Christian Worldview, author of Restoring All Things. Special thanks. I owe a debt of gratitude to Melinda Penner, Rice Brooks, Hank Hangraf, Frank Turek, and Mark Mittelberg for their input and effort to improve forensic faith. I would also like to thank the endorsers for the encouragement and support, and John Sunstreet for his friendship and wisdom. As always, I am humbled to be associated with you in this important mission. This book is the final installment in a trilogy of books making the case of God's existence, God's crime scene, and the case for Christianity, Cold Case Christianity. As I wrote these books, I am often had a particular group of young people in my own children. Thanks to Jimmy, David, Annie, and Mia for reminding me of the importance of my role as your father. I hope I have served you well. On those days when God feels far away, or at times when your doubt seems stronger than his voice, I hope these books remind you that Christianity is true in spite of whatever you're going through. If there is one gift I wish to give you, it's the certainty that comes with knowing the truth and developing a forensic faith.